Astro. No. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She say that I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G-O-D. Don't believe in T-H-O-T. She keep playing me dumb. I'm a player for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental. Let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought. No flow rain was I'm pouring down. See that pain was everything like this purge. Let's just get this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I seen you deflate. Let me elevate. This ain't a prank. Have you walking on a plane? Both hands together, God, let me pray. I've been going right around, call that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't drink them all. Want a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you please read between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break your spine. They say that I'm so fine, you could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Happy Wednesday. I love that music.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. It's been beautiful here, and we have no snow, so I'm loving it. Our lake is melting.
Isn't it supposed to be snowing in Wisconsin?
Nope, I love it. So it's supposed to get down into the 30s this weekend again. Go figure.
Yeah.
So what about you guys?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything new?
It's still
no, nothing new.
G?
It's still kind of cold in Florida, where we wake up in the 40s and then it goes like up to 60s and by midday. So yeah, so I was wearing so many layers today. I looked funny. I felt funny too.
I was thinking, I bought a winter coat this year, a nice winter coat, and it's like, thinking I was going to be cold. I got it a little bit like knee length, and it's like I can't even use it. One, because it's like being on crutches when I leave the house, it's like it's hard to have bulky stuff on, with crutches under the armpits, and then I don't even need the coat anymore, so I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's going to be spring.
I know. It is spring here.
Yeah.
So, all right. So are you guys ready to do a little twist in our show tonight? And we're going to talk aviation, and we're going to make Ed talk about his new adventures of learning how to scuba dive. Yeah. I had taken scuba class years ago, and my intention was, when I worked for the sheriff's department, I was going to join the dive team, and I chickened out. I never did. I did my testing in Clear Lake, and after our test, we went down fishing underwater, and I used a paper clip and a worm, and I fished underwater, and that was my scuba diving fun in a crystal clear lake. And then after that, I rented some scuba tanks, and growing up, we had a pool in the backyard, and that was the extent of my scuba diving in the pool. I never did anymore. So I'd like to continue that someday, as soon as my body heals up, and maybe Eric and I can go and do that someday. So
I tried scuba diving a long time ago. I started the lessons.
Yeah.
I panicked in the swimming pool, and that was it. No more. I said, that's it. If I
Did you see
panic,
Did you see that big shark that was on the intro, or what?
yeah, yeah. It was called my instructor. That was it. No more.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys don't mind that we're gonna change it up a little bit too. So let's invite Ed in here. Hey, Ed.
Hello. Good evening,
So
everyone.
yeah. So Ed's been on our group chats here in the past. So he's not new to the show or anything like that. So, and I met Ed, which I didn't realize. I didn't get his name one last spring when we were up at Torchport. He offered to help me straighten out my wing, and I kind of politely said, "No, thanks. I'm done. I suck."
Told me to leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Stop watching me. And that's when Bonnie and I were out there trying to kite. And so, but apparently I met you out there. Are we going to meet again?
I plan on going up there again this year. So
Okay.
I think that's going to be my first fly in this year. So
Nice. All right. So, all right. Who wants to go first with questions?
Well, I'll go.
Go ahead.
First, let's talk about a little bit about aviation. That's your first sport. Tell us what you fly and where you fly.
I fly everywhere I can, but mainly it's southwestern Ohio. What I fly, I have a Maverick, and I also have a Rider as well too.
Rider.
Wing wise, I have a tandem wing. I have a Nucleon, and I have just your basic beginner Pegasus as well. Those are good for light wind days when I don't want to run.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
So, what got you into paramotoring?
It's cliche, like probably a lot of people. I watched Tucker Gott's McDonald's fight.
Tucker who?
Tucker who? Yeah. Yeah, I was sitting around. It was during COVID time, sitting watching videos, and who's this crazy guy flying McDonald's, to get a cheeseburger? I didn't even know that was a thing. So, next thing you know, I was looking into it on, throughout the internet. I have an instructor here in Southwest Ohio. Got a hold of him, and rest is history.
Nice.
So no prior exposure to aviation. This was.
I'm in the Dayton, Ohio area, so that's kind of where all the flight stuff began, but I've never been into it. I've gone to the Air Force Museum more times than I can count. I've gone to the Air and Space Museum up in Wapakoneta, where Neil Armstrong's museum is. So I've been around it. I just never got into it. It was always expensive, from what from the research I had done, and then when I watched Tucker, fly on this thing that seemed pretty reasonably priced. I mean, the way I justified it is cheaper than a motorcycle, than a Harley. That's how
Probably
I justified
too.
How long ago did you do this?
it. Was during COVID. Is when I
Okay.
started.
So just
I figured they kept saying, stay 6 feet away from everybody. I said, well, I'll stay 6,000 feet up in the air.
All right.
One way to do it. And
Yeah.
what was your training like?
A lot of kiting. So I guess I didn't mention it. Chris Holbert with Predator Paramotor was my first instructor, and he's pretty much a stickler on kiting. He ingrains that in you before you do any kind of test flights or anything like that. That's what I remember most about.
Is he back in training again?
Yes.
How's he doing?
He's back to pretty much back to normal. His accident that he had, I think he was down for less than a year, and then he was back up flying again. And he had some dark times, obviously. I think James, you might know some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
he overcame it, and he's back to loving the sport now. He still trains over in Turkey and does SIV courses over there.
Oh, wow. Is he walking without any help of anything?
Yeah, he's
No cane or anything?
no pain or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
That's
good.
awesome.
Do any of your children fly?
So I got my tandem exemption about a year and a half ago through One Up, and I took my youngest daughter up, and she's in love with it.
So she's
And she
interested
kind
in
of
flying.
follows after me. Yeah, she kind of follows me. My son, he doesn't want anything to do with it. So, but he that's how I got into scuba diving, was with my son. So,
Okay, so he does like the scuba diving.
yeah.
Okay.
How old are they?
My son is 14 and my daughter is 10.
Oh,
Nice.
where are they tonight? I know you said your wife was taking them
So,
somewhere.
yeah, my son's in Boy Scouts,
Oh, yeah.
and that's kind of how we got into the scuba diving. Is the Boy Scouts do like a high adventure getaway, and one of the high adventures is going to the Bahamas and doing scuba diving and canoeing and all sorts of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
in order for him to do that, we thought, well, let's get a head start and do the scuba diving. So, and it just so happens that one of my friends that I fly with regularly, he is a scuba dive master. So he's
Oh,
been
nice.
kind of helping us out,
Nice.
giving us advice.
And my dogs were walking around here. Did you say anything about wife flying at all?
She does not want anything to do with it either. She wants to stay grounded. So
How about scuba? Does she scuba?
nope, I don't think. I think probably in lakes she'd be all right, but the ocean, it's the sharks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you scuba dive?
I trained here locally, but we've been scuba diving in. Disclaimer: the scuba diving, I've only done it 10 times probably now. I just got certified last year. There's a quarry up north of us that goes down to, I think, 150 foot.
Mhm.
I don't go down that far. It's pretty cold, but that's where you see all the airplanes that you showed on the intro.
Now, is that something they put in the water?
Yeah, they sunk airplanes, school buses, boats, cars. They have a cement pig that they sunk down there.
Yeah, you guys got to go watch his
It's
YouTube
just
channel.
random stuff that they put down there.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
even Jason down there. So
There's what?
Jason with a
Really?
ski mask. Mhm. Yeah, they sunk one of him too.
Cool.
Come up on a murky water and all of a sudden come across Jason. Yee!
That would be
It's
scary.
kind of in the dark area too, and in the video you can kind of see it. It is kind of freaky while you're coming around the corner. Whoa! There's a face kind of staring back at you.
So Justin, I'm thinking, is asking who you went through with scuba diving, I think.
I went through. It's the company's called Aquatic Adventures. It's in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And then the quarry that we got our open water certification is called Gilboa. It's like I said, a quarry.
Okay.
What does the certification require? How long do you have to go? What are the requirements for certification?
So you have to do closed water certification first, which is in a swimming pool with all the gear on. But before you even get into that, you have to do a little bit of class work. Just they go over all the dangers that can happen, underwater, and how to avoid the fins, and all that kind of stuff. And then you go for your closed water or confined water certification. Then you go for your open water certification. And then once you do, there's 4 of the confined, 4 of the open water, 4 dives. And then once you do that, you're certified.
So Brian is asking,
Is that
How
PADI or
SDI
oh,
or
I have
TDI.
not heard of SDI.
Yeah, TDI, SDI. There's really two main certifications. One is the PADI, and then the other is the TDI, SDI.
Okay.
so Brian wants to know how you do that with your beard.
So I just started growing this out through the winter time.
Oh,
And it helps me out flying right now because I did fly this evening and last night. And keeps my neck warm, but usually I trim it down pretty far. You can also put like Vaseline around to help create a good seal around your nose.
so when you were practicing clearing your mask, do you remember doing that, practicing like
Oh,
if
yeah.
your mask ever flooded? How did you do the first time?
I did surprisingly all right on that. I've gone snorkeling prior to this, so I've kind of got a little bit of. I didn't realize how much or how dangerous it can be, especially when you go deep dives and mixing your oxygen and all that. I didn't realize all that stuff. So.
Yeah. So do you
But the
have
safety ones, that the flooding of the masks freaked my son out when he was going through it as well too. So
Yeah.
it took him a while. Our instructor was fantastic. She suggested him just going into the bathtub and sticking his face underwater just to kind of get used to it, and seemed to help him out.
Sure. Justin says full face works great with facial hair.
Yeah, right. I just have the one that goes over the nose and the eyes.
Yeah.
I don't have. I still use the regulator, the second stage regulator on. So the full face, you actually have to hook all. And I don't. Again, I'm less than 10 dives into this.
So do you have all your own equipment then?
It's surprisingly pretty expensive, just like paramotoring, and double that cost as well now too, because I'm bringing my son along. I'm slowly getting some of that equipment. A lot of it you can rent, and sometimes it's even better when you're going to destinations, I guess, just to rent some of that stuff. But like your dive computer and some of the essentials, we've started gathering that stuff up.
Yeah.
Your life-saving, your vest, all your life-saving stuff is what we're going to buy.
And like a weight belt, or do you rent that too?
Yeah, you rent that because you don't really want to fly across the country with extra weight.
Right.
Yeah, your tank, you can rent the tanks. It's really just the stuff that's keeping you alive.
Well, what about wetsuits? Do you have a wetsuit at all, or do you just now go in the summer up by you?
It's really just the summertime.
Okay.
But even then, you still need a pretty thick wetsuit. Mm-hmm. We've just been renting them because a lot of the stuff is fairly cheap to rent. It just adds up, and then times 2. So
right. Totally agree.
10 dives is a good number in 1 year. That's you've been busy.
Yeah, last year was a busy year. So, and this year we're planning on actually going to the ocean and doing some diving there.
You
So
need to bring, yeah, salt
I,
water.
I,
Saltwater, yeah.
Gee,
I
what
was
were you
going to
going to
ask,
say?
what was your favorite dive out of the 10 that you've done so far?
All of them have been at that quarry, and the more dives I did, the more I kind of know my way around the area. So now I'm starting to see it. It's pretty neat to see all the fish, and they know when they're going to get fed. So you pop your head up above, through the roof of one of those school buses, and they just all swarm around you because they know they're going to get fed. So,
Would going to Lake Michigan or Lake Superior be like going to the ocean, or
Except
would that
colder.
be
it's set for colder, yeah. And I hear that
just
they're,
colder? Yeah.
my friend that I dive with, he says there's places up in Lake Michigan that there's a rope down to the shipwreck or the dive site.
So you should bring your family up to Traverse City, or not Traverse City, but to the fly-in,
Oh, Torch.
Torch Lake.
Mhm.
And Tim and Tracy, they live on Torch Lake. And I don't know if they're going to do it again this year, but they invited all the pilots over to the house. And like Bonnie, Franz, and I, we went down into the water, and you could probably go right off their dock and go out scuba diving out there. It's
Hmm.
super crystal clear. It looks like ocean blue water. And up on the hill where their house is, you can see the different colors of blue. Well, you've seen it when you were
Flying
flying.
around.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah. Huh.
So maybe bring your stuff along just in case.
That's a good
If you,
idea.
yeah, at least the fins and mask at least. So.
Did you have anything in particular that was difficult to learn in scuba diving, or like difficult to adjust to?
Not really. Breathing under the water was all right. I'm just more conscious about the dangers of it now. So, because depending on how deep you go, you got to make safety stops and let your body off gas some of this nitrogen that's built up inside you, and so I'm a little bit more cautious about that because I've my friend has actually had the bends, and he had to go to the hyperbaric chamber, and he said it's not fun. So I don't really want that to happen.
Yeah, you got to worry about that a lot more when you're, especially traveling, and then going up in an airplane and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. You don't want to
Flying
be.
paramotors, I don't think it's right at because I've
No.
done it. Usually you're 300 feet and lower, especially if
Yeah.
you're dragging. So you're not really up that high. If you're flying, they're talking the tens of thousands of feet.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking like on vacation and then scuba diving and then that same day and then flying home.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good. But there's a lot of, that's the one thing I needed to kind of study up on more if I was going to continue it, about learning that portion of it. So, but I'd
The
like to.
buoyancy control is
Yep.
I guess, that would be one of the answers to your question as well, too. Buoyancy control, because you're just you're trying to control your breathing so that you're not moving around too much or floating up and down. And if you're inflating your vest to float back up, and then you want to drop back down a little bit, you're constantly fighting that, and that burns through your oxygen. So buoyancy control, I guess, is probably this.
And it got easier for you over time? Like, do you feel like you got a hang of it now?
Not really.
Because
No.
I've only done, so I did the PADI open water course. So that involved can't remember, 3 or 4 dives over 2 days, or over 2 or 3 days. I can't remember details honestly, but before that I did some, introduction in a pool, and in the pool it was so easy. The buoyancy control
Yeah.
part, yeah, so easy. But then I go out in the water, and I did that in Tenerife, in Canary Islands, and it was it took me a while to get used to it. Um, but my biggest challenge was equalizing. I could not
Oh,
equalize. It was,
mm,
and I ended up with like an inflammation in my ears that lasted
yep.
several days after that. So that's that's been my biggest fear going back diving. I'm like, my ears hurt at
Ear.
the thought.
Yeah, they ingrained that pretty deep in us to equalize often and early and often is what they said.
Yeah, yeah, that
Okay,
was an interesting one.
let's go back to flying. So where have you all been?
Uh, flown. My longer furthest trip is Arizona. I did the flying circus out there, and I also did the copper mine pit out there.
Okay.
That was my first engine out. Was out there at the copper mine.
You had an engine out at the copper mine?
I ran out of gas. I was having fun, so
Oh,
wasn't paying attention and ran out of gas. So, met some really good guys out there. They flew back to the LZ, filled their tank up, came back. We just transferred the gas to mine, and I took it back off, and so all was good.
Nice.
And then locally, it's just been Michigan and Tennessee, a little bit of Kentucky, Indiana.
yeah, I understand they're dropping $50,000 out there this year.
Yeah. Did they do that the year that you were out there? Did they drop any money?
No, I don't know. No, they didn't. They had the flamethrowers going. All the guns were shooting out there. It was pretty fun actually watching all that. But nobody was dropping money out there.
Yeah, they're going to drop $50,000 this time.
It's a wild time out there.
That sounds like it.
Really far away from any kind of city. So out in the desert.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out there.
So take your gas before you go.
Yeah. Don't run out of gas out there.
Yeah.
Right. And don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Plan on going to any other fly-ins besides Torchport this year?
Torchport planned.
That's in
We
May.
have. I usually always go to Moonshiners. I'm taking the family this year to Myrtle Beach. That's where we're going to do some scuba diving.
Oh, cool.
And I'm bringing all the scuba gear. They're flying, so they get to fly. I get to drive, which is fine because I'm planning on stopping in Asheville and see if I can hook up with what is it, Pinnacle Paramotor out there. See if I can fly around with them.
Cool.
On my way down there. Let's see. Then we are talking. Usually I go to Purdon's, but I think this year we might end up going out to Bear Lake, fly in out in Idaho.
Oh,
That
I
would be
think we might
nice.
take a road trip out there,
nice.
and then whatever else that pops up.
Moose
EFT
Lake
is not far
or
from
Moses Lake is another nice one I'd like to go to. Moses Lake.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
no bad
Denise.
apples?
Yeah, all that area out there looks pretty fun to fly.
Right.
In Arizona was a blast. So.
Have you ever been to EFD in Kansas?
Almost went there one year, but it's a 12-hour drive for me, and the wind and weather didn't look good the year I was planning on it, and so I
Yeah.
bailed.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think I
long drive.
wanted to fly the fort in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I was just going to ask if,
Yeah.
what other one? There's a frog one down that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to that one.
We should
try
probably
to
get on.
the big ones I don't, and the big ones I try. I've done bad apples, and it just gets kind of crazy down there with all the different skill level.
What year
And
did you
so
go?
I try to avoid those. What was it, a year and a half ago? Because we started doing our tandem training down there. We had to pause because there was too many people that showed up early, and so we
Oh,
ended
okay.
up moving everything up to Ohio a couple months later.
Okay. Luis, was that the year we were down there? Because
We were there in, let's see, what year is it? 24, 23, 22. Must have been 21.
Yeah, I think it was 21 when I went.
yeah,
Maybe it was 22.
It was 21.
because I do remember them talking about having a class out there, and it was just getting too crowded.
Yeah, it was 22.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking at the USPPA page, and I'm looking for the frog one.
Anybody know what the frog
Forget that.
fly-in is
What a-
out in
I have
Midwest?
no idea.
There
Quite
is
a few of them popped up out in
something to do with
Illinois
the frog.
area as well too. The small ones seem to be the funner ones, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We only go to June, the end of June. Doesn't want to go to any other page. All right.
So I'm curious about your tandem training with One Up Adventure. What was the training like? And I understand was that through the USPPA or through ASC for the exemption?
It was through ASC.
Okay. So what was the training like?
Well, broken up. that kind of threw a wrench in some of our plans because we started out down at Bad Apples. I think we did 2 days down there, and then we had to pause, and then we did like another, I think, 3 more days because we had to kind of relearn some stuff. So we did the trike transition at that time as well too. 3 of us actually went. 2 of my friends that I fly with regularly, we went down. All 3 went down.
So did you start with? I'm curious how you transitioned to like handling the weight of an additional passenger. Was it all with an instructor, or did you fly with a weight? Like, what was the process like?
Since there was 3 of us, and then there's 3 of them, Allie, Travis, and Kyle, they kind of split us up. They only had enough equipment for 2 of us to go at once. They had us start with the trike transition just because beforehand we only did foot launch. We didn't do trike. So they had us spend quite a bit of time doing the trike transition. Once we were able to get that down perfectly, that's when he started bringing in. They did it very slowly. They eased you into it. So they let you sit up front, and then they pass the controls to you. Then they let you sit in the back, but they're still controlling everything. Then they pass it back to you, and then they just slowly move things forward until you're finally, 100% in control. They did a fantastic job, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And how big is the tandem wing that you fly?
I have a 37
All right.
meter.
Yeah. I bet all that kiting came in handy,
Yeah.
controlling a big glider, transitioning to that. And I know that One Up Adventure, they do a really good job of making sure that their uh, students who are learning wheels have really good grasp on glider control. What Allie told me one time was that she never lets anyone solo until they are able to kite or like control the glider the entire length of the field. And that's been, taxi the entire length of the field. And that was a very, it kind of stuck with me because it's a very long field in Lake Wales. So so it's a really nice way to teach glider control on wheels.
Yeah.
Have you had any scary moments?
I try to avoid those. I've
Me
had
too.
expensive moments.
Yeah.
My phone fell out of my pocket on takeoff and went through the prop and lost
Oh,
the prop and lost my phone, and
Yeah, that was
emergency
expensive.
landing right at takeoff too. So,
Did it happen after you left the ground?
oh yeah. I was probably telephone wire height 50 feet up, and hit some lift, and it tilted me up a little bit more, and I didn't realize my phone was about to slip out of the pocket. I had a tether on it, but the tether I didn't realize was too long, and it just fell back and hit the prop, and I knew immediately something was wrong. So
how did
That's
that go with the broken prop then?
just a quick emergency landing, no issues on that.
You had
Called
an
up
open
Sky
field in front of
Sports.
you?
Oh yeah. Always
Yeah.
have an out. Always have an out. Yeah, called up at Sky Sports, had a new prop sent to me,
nice.
back in business. Yeah, you always have an out.
Yep. I'm going to say hi to everybody real quick. Take a breather. Kramer is in the house, and I want to say congrats to her because she says within 2 weeks she's driving to South Carolina to pick up her trike and wing.
I know
She
she's
is
so excited.
so excited. I'm excited for her.
It's
We
pretty
finally,
too.
huh?
It's pretty too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We finally got Montana, Tim Entz, in the house tonight. Nice to see him, sorry. Bill H. Linda Anderson is in here. Travis is giving me crap saying I gave him cheese curds and I ate all his birthday cake. Dustin's in the house, and just got our normal crew in here. Bonnie and Brian Franz, and
I met Bonnie and Brian at Torchport. So
yep,
they
they were
said
hanging
that.
out.
I remember because they said that was their anniversary. So
Yeah, they were hanging out with us.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Starbeck, and
Which we haven't seen him on here in a while.
right, I know.
He's a scuba diver too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said Scuba's not on here. You should be asking the questions. My mom is in here, or probably fell asleep by now. Mom, are you still in here? Mom and Dad? Earth to Mom and Dad, are you here? Looks like our normal crew is just in here. No John Wayne tonight. 2 feet and a heartbeat, Aaron. I apologize for all of you that I owe OG your significant other, I need to get a address from if you want it sent to your house or not. Joe Adele is in here. Oh, there's John Wayne. I need addresses, and sorry, I've been kind of slacking. I'll get the next bunch out soon.
Your
The
mom and
prizes.
John Wayne are still here.
Okay. Lift Paramotor Austin is in the house here. Randy Milstead. So I'm feeling good. I need to get more stamps, but we're going to do, let's do a name. Oh, Eric was in here. He's out at the hangar right now. He had to take Savannah to open gym, so then he decided he was going to go out to the hangar and work on.
Oh, Scuba
airplane.
is in here. JP Tula is here.
JP!
Yes. And somebody called the
JP.
Big Kahuma Huma is in here.
Ed, you must know him. Oh, and by the way, it's Ed's birthday. Happy birthday, Ed.
Happy birthday.
He's spending his evening with us.
Yeah, see?
Thank you.
How
Thank
you
you
doing,
so much.
JP?
Oh yeah, Mom's still here.
Mhm.
So say hi to my mom and dad. And JP. JP, have you been flying yet? I know you haven't in a while. We're trying to get him to come up here to Northern Lights fly-in this summer when we decide to have ours. So, Ed, you should bring your family up here for our flying.
That's one that's on my list as well too to make.
Good.
Not sure if I can make it this year, but we'll see.
Alrighty.
But it is on my list.
We're trying to. This last year we did a car show because Eric had the antique car and he joined a car club. This year we're going to try to do a little air type show also with general aviation, trying to get more general aviation up to our airport also, and when we're not flying. So we had a bunch come in that were with our EAA chapter to drop in and say hi. So we're going to try to see if we can get some more to come in.
We had a pretty good car show last year.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Eric told me yesterday when not the Air Force, what did he say? He said, not the Blue Angels, because that's the comment I made. He said, when I don't know, he said when the military comes back to the school, he goes, oh, the Army. He goes, why don't you see if you can have the Army guys come and paratroop and jump out of the planes that are flying. I said, yep, and I'll get the Blue Angels to come too.
Do a little flyby.
Yeah. I'll get right on that with the recruiters that come to the high school. That would be pretty cool. Bonnie's asking if we posted a date yet. No. We're still trying to get back into the thought of the flying again. So, yeah, I just came across one of the videos from our fly-in that Montana helped out with the first year, and I put it in the outro, and it's a little parade they did for me. So it's kind of cool. If you stick around for the outro, you will see our little parade that our crew did and that was at the first fly-in. So that was pretty neat. So anyway, what else, Ed? What else do we need to know about you? What do you do for a living?
Well, first I gotta say, gee, I'm jealous of your background there.
I know.
I'm going back in
That's one of
March.
the places that's on my bucket list.
Well, she's going back. She's got room.
Yeah.
I know. And I'm jealous too. So
Me too.
It's magical. It's a really nice place to go for many, many reasons. And it's amazing scuba diving in the Red Sea.
Oh,
I didn't
One
even
of the
think
best.
it. See?
Yeah, one of
Didn't
the
even think
best
about that.
places in the
There you
world.
go, Ed.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
get
just
my
more,
refresher and
another reason why I gotta, convince the family to go there. So,
Yeah,
yep.
it's a very family-friendly place to go because even with the flying trips, they're all local flights. So you don't have to worry about cross country and moving people around while you're flying. You literally just wake up early in the morning, you go fly. By the time you get back, the family's waking up, getting breakfast at the hotel, and then you
yep.
spend a day with the family. And then, yeah, it's a really nice place to go for both the adventure part and just the vacation for the family. But yeah, I
I
can talk about
see.
Egypt all day long. So
Yeah, I see the videos on Facebook of them flying right by the pyramids and the
yeah,
Sphinx, and yeah,
I
yeah,
think
it's on my bucket list.
we need
yeah,
a
it's
G night of to explain the trip. I guess
How
my
many times
question
have you
is,
been?
I'd love. Sorry.
How many times have
yeah,
you been there?
Oh, so I grew up in Egypt. I'm originally from Egypt. So I've been there many, many times. I speak the language. I have family there. And
Hmm.
um, I have my contacts. My family is also in aviation there in Egypt. So I have my contacts and friends that were able to help me with organizing trips.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I flying over well, I've flown over the pyramids in the past many times again with my family, but paramotoring over the pyramids, I've done that once, and I'm going back in March for that again. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's very nice. And then there's the part, of course, you got to fly over the pyramids. So there's the time in Giza, but we're also going to an oasis close to Cairo, and then we're flying to Luxor to fly over the temples there, and the Valley of the Kings, and visit the Valley of the Kings, and then we're actually going to the Red Sea, where there will be beach flying, but also opportunities to do other things, like if somebody's interested in scuba diving, that would be a good. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I really like, I go there once a year pretty much. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to make it more of a regular thing that I do a paramotoring trip for family and friends and close contacts. It's nice to do that, just like make a trip out of it as opposed to just going to visit the family only. Kind of expand it a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I can share more details later. We can talk about it and let you know about future plans and all of that, and see if
Yep,
we can make it work.
absolutely.
Yeah.
yep, she's going to be my personal tour guide some year.
Yep, yep. That's gonna. I am really really excited about planning a trip for all the ladies. All the.
Mhm.
I already have the name. I'm not gonna talk about it now because when I have the details, but I'm so excited about it. And yeah, so many things I want to do.
I'm going to meet King Tut.
King Tut.
He's
Yep,
waiting. He's waiting for you. They've been telling me. Yeah.
yep.
So is that
All
how the
right.
nose fell off the Sphinx then? Somebody
Sorry.
ran into it? Is that how the nose came off the Sphinx? Somebody ran into it?
Not with a paramotor.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, that part of the world, it has seen a lot of interesting things, and yeah. But it's always been a fun and exciting. That's why people keep going back.
Travis wants to know if you're taking your equipment or if you're going to rent it.
So this trip, uh, I actually negotiated a really good deal for paramotor rentals, and it's such a good deal I can't even announce it publicly. That's how good of a deal is it. So I can share details later, but um, in the past I've taken my equipment. I've traveled with my equipment, so I've gotten pretty good at taking apart my motor, cleaning it up. And then I've tried different things. One time I traveled with it wrapped up, and you could not tell what's inside. It was covered in like bubble wrap, and um, it didn't go through. but the time that I didn't wrap it up so much, and they could see what's inside, they could check for, no fuel residue, nothing. I took out the fuel lines. I didn't have even the gas tank was removed. So they could see that it was clean, and that time it went through. So I'm learning about how to travel with my gear. Of course, the glider is so easy to pack. It's just I take it as a carry-on item, or I can put it in my suitcase in a vacuum sealed bag, so it doesn't take much space. Um, but yeah, so this time I'm probably not going to take my motor. I might take it just to leave it there because I've been traveling there a lot, and every time I go, I want to fly. That I have two motors, so I'm leaving one of them there. So that would be the plan. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep traveling with that little Atom 80 of mine. It packs pretty nicely and so easy to maintain and take apart and put together. So
Doesn't weigh
that's been my
anything.
travel motor. Sorry?
It doesn't weigh anything. So, the Atom 80.
It's and that's been
Super
my
light.
thing. Honestly, I can so my Atom 80 is on a SkyMax Star frame. So the whole setup is so light, and weight wise it can go in as a regular suitcase, but the frame is a little tall, so I would have to break down the frame, like take it apart and break it down if I really wanted to fit in a suitcase, which I don't want to do that. So I still travel with it as oversized luggage just to make it easier to put it together on the other side. And then I put other things in that bag. So I have my helmet, and I bring an extra harness for kiting and all of these things.
Yep.
So I make use of that bag, but it ends up being pretty light. But I
Hmm.
like I'm big on light motors. So for my other motor is also very light. It's an air consumption Nitro 200. So I'm always going for the very light motors. I like the electric start on my Nitro, but I
Mhm.
like the simplicity of the Atom 80 and just how it's such a workhorse. It can take a
Yep.
beating. Not a lot of things to break on it, so it's good for travel.
Yeah, they just
Yeah, I don't
Justin,
know if I answered the question. Oh,
Justin says if you hide him in a suitcase, he'll carry the rest of your stuff.
that sounds good. I I'm always looking for friends to travel with. So if you're willing to hide in a suitcase, that's the kind of friends I look for, actually.
With the Atom 80.
Yeah, it's so light. There's room for a whole person in there.
Oh, any other things? What's going on with everybody? Anything going
I
on
got to
exciting
fly
this
today
coming? You did.
on my
Birthday
birthday. Yeah,
flight.
birthday flight.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
I don't normally fly in the winter. If it's below 40, I don't do it. I'm too old to do that stuff. So I can bundle up if there's some snow on the ground and I want to come see the scenery. I'll suck it up for that. But most of the time, if it's below 40, I don't really want to do it. It's just not fun. But today it's here in southern Ohio. It was almost 60 degrees. So
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
for all those years that, well, all those few years that Eric and I were flying, and he went when it was 3 below. I went when it was, I think, 9 degrees, and yeah, and now it's warmer than warm, and I'm not flying, and yeah, that sucks.
I have one of those because I think one of the shows that I watched on, you recommended that Blue Sky Blue.
Yep,
Um,
he's got one of
I
those.
ended up, yeah, I ended up getting one of those, and that thing is amazing in the cold weather.
Yeah, that's what he
I'm
says.
happy I
He's
got it. Yeah,
Yep,
What is
and
that again?
it's a suit, so
it's
one
like a
piece.
4 or 5 layer suit.
Yeah, 5 layer is what Eric's got, and it's warmer than warm, he says, and it's got the cuffs on the
Yep.
elastic for down on the boots, so you don't have the wind blowing up, and
Nice.
in the hands, and it's got like pockets for aviation radio, and it zips up, and
It's all one piece.
yeah.
No wind gets inside. It's fantastic.
Yep.
You still, I still haven't been able to find anything for your hands though. That's especially when they're sitting up. Sometimes
Yep.
it's hard to find something to keep
So-
your hands warm.
What we found, being that we're up here, is and it was a Canadian company that I bought the heated gloves from, and the heating elements go into every finger. And I think you can find those pretty much anywhere now.
But
But
what about the dexterity?
they're stretchy, and I don't have them here. The only thing is the battery packs are like this, but what I would wear is it had like a harness where you could put the cord around your neck, and it's like then you'd feed the cord
The
down your
wire.
sleeve. Yep. And then attach them that way. And then you would have under the jacket, you would bring the battery pack. And I had one jacket that I had like a pouch in the middle, kind of like a hoodie, pouch.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put my battery packs in there. But otherwise, they had a slot for the battery pack to go in the wrist area. And it wasn't so bad once you're flying, with your hands up. But it's like if you're moving around and stuff, that battery pack was sitting like right
It's
here.
sitting right there.
Yeah. And it's just bulky, kind of like those Milwaukee tool jackets, that battery pack is right on your back kidney area. But then what Eric would do is he went and bought some windproof Carhartt. I think they were just like a shell glove, thinner.
Mm-hmm.
And but I wouldn't wear those. I would only wear like the heating ones. And it's like, especially in my throttle hand, I needed to feel the throttle and hang on to everything. And once I got up in the air, I would try to take the throttle out of my hand, park my brake, and try to put the other glove on. But otherwise, I would just freeze that one hand the entire time.
Mm-hmm. I don't freeze the other, but I have the liners, the heated liners, and that gives me warmth on the ground, and it gives me the feeling of the dexterity. And then once I get up in the sky, then I have thicker gloves that I have stowed, and I put those on.
Yeah.
And I hate flying with gloves on.
And somebody else said try putting like latex gloves on, and then and that acts as a liner. But I don't know about that.
I did that. I tried it. It caused my hands to sweat, and then they got cold really fast. So I mixed that pretty quick.
Yeah. My other thing was
I just can't find anything with the hands. Everything else I can keep warm. Face, especially with my beard, I can keep my neck warm.
Yeah.
Shoes, all that stuff. It's the hands that I just. So usually 30, 45-minute flights in the wintertime. I'm lucky if I can get an hour in, and then I'm done.
Yeah. What did Travis say? We had 6 guys at our field yesterday, and the air was perfect. No bumps. Awesome.
The spinning wheel should be fully rigged by now.
You guys always
Billy
say that.
said 72 degrees yesterday. Wow. Hang on.
Yeah, I got a
on
flight in
this
yesterday too.
spinning wheel. Before I forget, I wanted to bring up. I did post Ed's YouTube page. Adventure Awaits. You guys need to go check this out.
Yeah, he's got a good page.
Pretty cool page. So check out the Torchport one. You can see what we're talking about. And this is his diving one that I used a little bit of. But This one's pretty cool. He kind of narrates in the beginning of it and stuff. I really like that. You did a good job on that, Ed.
Thank you.
So check out Adventure
I'm
Awaits!
not a-
Exclamation
I'm
point.
not a vlogger or anything like that, so you'll see all different, all
Yeah.
different types of videos in this.
He's got 38 subscribers. Give him a couple more.
Yep.
Let's share. All right. Bill H says new subscriber.
It's good.
He is
Thank
the
you.
new subscriber. Okay. We need to go to. I need to go to share screen again. All right. Get your comments in. If you're a new person and haven't made a comment, you want to get on the spinny wheel of rigged time.
If you want to get on the rigged spinning wheel.
Yeah, however you want to say it. We only got 20 entries here. All right, here we go. Good luck.
Oh, yay. Oh, no.
It psyched you out. Congrats, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Psych on Deweese.
Yeah, I haven't told you to spin again. I was rooting for Travis. He says, "Yeah, right."
Congrats. So, all right. Anybody else got anything? You guys want to join in on conversation on here? We're right at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
Otherwise, Ed, is your family home yet?
Yeah, they came in.
Oh, they're quiet.
Yeah,
Who's-
I think they went straight to their rooms. So
I went straight to their room. They're hiding.
You get to celebrate your birthday with them.
yeah, I'll drag them off of their electronics and let them hang
All
out
right.
with me for the old man for a minute.
Quickly, I'm going to look and see if we have anybody next week. Nope, we got wound care, and it's Valentine's Day.
Oh,
What are we
this
doing, guys?
Oh, we need to just have a sweet heart.
You're going to get a sweetheart?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just have all lovey-dovey next week.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, Ed, you go hang out with your. Oh, we're going to meet Justin.
Oh, Travis said Bill will be on next week. Bill H will be on next week.
Oh, and Travis is going to come on next week too?
Yeah, the two of them.
Justin?
Hey,
Hi,
my
Justin.
earbuds are not connecting. That's
Scratch
cool.
your ears.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good.
Hi.
I just realized I was a minute behind on the stream because I had to answer a call during it. So when I had said spin that wheel, I realized afterwards that you guys were already done spinning the wheel. So I feel super smart.
Nerd.
Yeah, thanks.
So we're going to let Ed probably go here shortly, and because he's got to go celebrate with his family.
Gotcha.
But if you guys want to stick around, and if anybody wants to join us for a little bit in the after show, here again is the invite. You guys can stick around. But otherwise, thank you all for joining. Ed, thank you very much. And again, happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ed.
you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
And
Nice
we'll
to
see
meet
you.
and happy birthday.
We'll see you in spring.
Yes. At
So-
Torchport.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See
Bye.
you.
I can see the stars align, dance around the moon every night, and now my eyes are open wide, and the sky has never looked so bright. And I don't need to see the road to believe, yeah. 'Cause this is where I'm meant to be, I believe. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic